For the French onion soup, I'm taking condensed beef consomme and I'm making a base for my onion soup. And what I've done here is I've taken mirepoix, which is carrots, onions, and celery, and put in there with some parsley, parsley stems, bay leaf, and thyme. And this will give us a more real homemade stock flavor. It draws some of the salt out and enriches the soup. So we're going to take this to a boil, and then we're going to take it down to simmer for 30 minutes, and then we're going to strain it. For the soup, we're going to start off by melting 2 tablespoons of butter. To that, we're going to add the onions. You want to melt the butter. You don't want to have it up on too high a temperature. The butter will burn. It's melting, it's bubbling. Just keep stirring it. You might need to adjust your temperature down. You don't want the butter to burn on you. To that, we're going to add our onions. We've got 6 cups of onions. What I did is I cut the onion in half, cut the root end off, the top off, peeled it, then I cut the onion in half, and then I sliced across this way to make these little pieces. Use a flat spoon and stir this. I want to coat the onions. You want to cook them down to get them to caramelize. You can see the onions are starting to reduce down as it cooks. We haven't got any caramelization started in yet. Now we've got caramelization starting on the onions. It's now time to add our liquid. We're going to start off with the soup base we made, and we're going to strain it right into the pan here. Half a cup of dry white wine. Something like a Chablis would be nice. I'm using Sauvignon Blanc myself. We're going to add a bay leaf. You want to snap that bay leaf, put it in there. And approximately a quarter teaspoon of thyme, dried thyme. Now we want to bring this to a boil. Want the brown bits at the bottom of the pan. Those are flavor packets. Want to get those up. Can't see it, but you've got a flat spoon. Just run it across the bottom. We're heating this up. Get those flavor packets off. Now, the rest of the base that was come out of the strainer, put that in there. Now we're going to bring it to a boil, and then we'll start to simmer. Now we bring it to a boil. We're going to give it a stir. And if only you could smell that. I know you can't. Unless, of course, you copy this recipe yourself. Now that we got a boil, we're going to turn it down to a simmer. Set the timer for 20 minutes, and we'll be ready to start the next step. Okay, we finished this step of the process. At this point, you should taste for seasoning, salt, pepper, if you want to add those. Remove the bay leaf, which happens to be floating on top. And you can either put together your French onion soup at this point, or refrigerate and wait for the next day, or later tonight. I wanted to taste this. I got some on a put it on the ice, and it's great. There was something hard I did on it, and it was a tooth. It was one of the pig's teeth that fell out of the skull. I was boiling it for the food, and I was like, "Holy crap!" You know. So I strained everything, and there were 2 more teeth in there. So. Could you imagine if you were eating pork and had a pig's teeth?
But you know what? You always come up with a way to do it. It's
All right.
Ready?
Mm-hmm.
You know the soup's ready when it's bubbling like this. The cheese is melted and it's bubbling around the edge.
First course.